All right, welcome back to Belmont Bunch again. I promised that this would be a shorter one after our 40-minute 2-game video. But yeah, we'll see about that. Here, you might be asking, not much, because it's pretty self-explanatory. We are looking at the quarter mark of the season, where the Islander players individually stand. There's also a good chance for us to talk about some players that have slipped through the cracks in a good way for the most part, seeing as we're 16-3-1 at the filming of this video. There'll probably be one more game played tomorrow night. Yeah, but this is the quarter mark for us. And let's talk about some numbers. I know plus minus is not like the most premier stat nowadays, since we are getting into the age of analytics and there are better stats, but these are easier, so get off my back. Matt Barzal leads the team. Keep in mind, 20 games played for pretty much all the starters. Barzal, 20 points in 20 games. He is averaging exactly a point a game, which would be a vast improvement on last year, where he topped out in the 60s, but he still led the team. And obviously, like we said in our last video, recapping the 2 Pittsburgh games and the home and home, the Islanders last year didn't come close to having a player at a point per game. So the fact that he's at a point per game right now, I know it's only the quarter mark, but that's a really good sign for him individually, but also that the offense as a whole is it's not like elite, but compared to last year, it's night and day. They are middle of the pack now in offense, and the defense is still number 1. So not too shabby considering last year we were bottom 10 in offense. Nelson has had a wonderful week. We have given him 2 sin bins so far. That is a little bit harsh. It was for like stupid stuff for the most part. Most of the sin bins so far have been for stupid stuff. We did a celebration one to get a guy in the sin bin.
Yeah, with the weight truck.
Yes. But Nelson, very productive. He's been good as a two-way player, even though his plus-minus is a 0. He has a few power play goals. His shot is still pretty nice. Pretty good snap shot. Yeah, not a lot to talk about. Just he's been very responsible as the second-line center and very productive and living up to the $6 million a year contract so far. NHL video game needs to fix that because he's untradeable in NHL. His trade value is like the lowest it can get because the game has him as only an 82, which is probably not fair. At some point, I might do a video on NHL ratings of players. Broussard is third in the team in scoring. He is coming off a year where he had 23 points and a full season's worth of games. He is at 16 already, playing mostly on the wing recently. Barry Trotz has figured out how to maximize his players. What a shock. He's an amazing coach. And yeah, Broussard's been fantastic, keeping the point streak alive recently with assists mostly, but he's shown a lot of chemistry with Beauvillier and Nelson, so not bad. Beauvillier, aforementioned, 8-8. We talked about before the season, wanting what was it, 20? We wanted 20 goals, not 20 points.
28 goals, not 28 points.
He could do that.
Yeah.
He can do that. He's on pace for something close to that. A quarter. Yeah. He's on pace for 32. I don't think he'll get 32. That would be tough. That would be a dream. I'll take that. But as long as I see the points, because last year was a lot of goals and not a lot of assists. So far, you're seeing balance.
Was it?
It was last year. He had not a lot of assists. Most of his points were goals. Yep.
Anyway.
But yeah, we're seeing. Look at that balance and a +8. Not bad. Bailey, who has been very steady. Surprised to see the -2 next to his name. But as we said, this is a very unscientific stat. This is, I hop on ice. What?
Sorry.
This is, I hop on ice at the wrong time sometimes, and goal gets scored. Oh, yeah. Alrighty then. Alright, Taves was one of the unsung heroes I really wanted to highlight. 2 goals, 9 assists. Good for 11 points. Didn't realize how high up the points total he was without us really having mentioned him. He's such a good defenseman. I was so scared last night when he got hurt, but he came back into the game and he was fine. I retweeted it. There's a stat where the Islanders record since Taves joined the team early last year, like December, when they called him up from Bridgeport, the Islanders over a season would have 118 points in the games he has played. That is like Tampa Bay Lightning from last year good, minus worrying about the playoffs. Yeah, Taves, unsung hero of the season so far. I want to make that clear because we have not talked about him much. And let's kind of scoot through. Lee, he's been fine. Just park him in front of the net and look for bounces. Letty's been great. I've been very excited with Letty and not having traded him. He is a rover. He's a lot like Taves, but with more experience. Pulak, that slap shot, as long as you get it on goal, it's great. And his point total is not bad so far. Boychuk, he's been pretty serviceable for someone getting up there in age. Pretty happy with his production. I mean, I'm not even looking for production from him. That's kind of like close to what last year's production was, so I'll take it. Clutterbuck has 2 shorthanded goals as both his goals. I think he has 3 shorthanded points. Fantastic stuff. Cizikas, 3-3. He's not going to score 20 like he did last year, but aberration, and it was kind of just a reward for how much of a team player he is that he had a year like that. Eberle. Oh, and also, I wanted to talk about this super quickly. Leonard is probably my favorite player in the league, but it's a tie with Cizikas right now because he just works his ass off every single night. Eberle, still trying to get into the swing of things. That the injury kind of slowed him down, so he hasn't played 20 games, so don't reflect that on that point total. Mayfield has been pretty productive for a guy that I see as a stay-at-home, big, lumbering defenseman. Pellich, smart stay-at-home defenseman also. Really good defensively. The points are just a bonus on top of how good he is defensively. Dal Cole. Komarov. Now, Dal Cole, I'm going to give him his due here. He's a glue player. He does the things that don't show up on the score sheet. And I heard he makes some nice nachos. I didn't hear that. 5th overall pick in 2014. He's probably pretty decent. Komarov has been a healthy scratch here and there with Kovula, who's not on here. He's played 2 games, but they're undefeated. But no points from Kovula so far. Martin also has been hurt, just came back. He's doing fine. Dobson looking for that first NHL goal, but he's looked the part. He's looked like an NHL player at the age of 19. Pretty impressive. Ross Johnston has some computer code there. And then we come to the goalies, which is the star of the show. You wonder how there's 21 games played there. And obviously, I think Greiss got pulled early in the year against Carolina. So that's how that happens. Neither goalie has played 2 consecutive games yet, which is how you get your goalies enough playing time, but not so much that they're dead. Toronto. I mean, look at the wins to their starts. It's almost like they're 16-3-1 as a team. Greiss's numbers are immaculate. Varlamov's were very, very solid and have taken a hit in the last 2 or 3 starts. So those are kind of just average-ish now. But yeah, can't complain too much. Greiss, I mean, if the playoffs started today, Greiss would be the starter. We know that. And he would start all the games in the playoffs as long as he could go. So yeah, just wanted to do a once-over. We're going to pull up one more thing for you, and then we're going to be set. All right. All right. Let's go over the team stats real quick. This will be super quick, and then you can go back to whatever the hell you were doing. Probably watching TV with this on the side and also looking at your phone, because why would you want to deal with this world? Distractions are important. We are about where we were. Last year, we were the best defensive team in the league. We have allowed the least goals, enunciate. And you'll see by the goals per game, with the 3 games fewer that we've played than Arizona. Arizona will probably overtake us unless they just get run over in a couple games. But they're a good team, so I don't think that'll happen. I would probably expect we're somewhere in this vicinity. We're probably not absolutely number 1 right now. But part of that you could probably chalk up to, we've played Pittsburgh a bunch, and they've scored on us. They've been able to score on us, but we've won 2 of the 3 games. Which, talking about our offense, last year was horrendous, terrible, thesaurus. This year, wow, 3.25 goals per game. Last year, we could not touch 3 goals per game. So this is significant, because what was the one question in the offseason? not even just like an aspect. I heard people base their predictions of where the Islanders would finish based off of, oh man, they're such a structurally sound team, but they cannot score. And they can, and they will. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I think it looks sustainable. They're getting points from everybody, as you saw on our board. You know, I still think they'll be in the running for a big trade target, possibly. Taylor Hall would be the dream, but smaller players, that is very unfair. If anybody's going to be heightest, it's not going to be me.
Well, they can't tell. We always shoot from like low angles. So
That's true. I'm 6'5". It's a really big basement. Players like Pajot, Jean-Gabriel Pajot from Ottawa. I would like Jean-Gabriel Pajot if we can. And yeah, we will see. We'll do a video on that later in the year, as long as you pay us, looking at some trade targets if the Islanders are still big contenders. And yeah, those are the numbers. That's the video. Give us a like, please. Give us a subscription, please. Dislike the video or like it. Either way, it's direction, and I could use some direction. I'm in my 20s.